Okay, so at this point in the lesson, you should have already seen this slide, and you've had opportunities to watch, rewatch, and take either mental or like some physical notes over each version of this song. And as you may or may not have been able to tell, while the music's very similar behind it, a lot of the lyrics are pretty different, but also the settings and the way they're portrayed are also very different. So here's a way that you can look into that, and I'll kind of explain that for you. If you've not already, go ahead and scan this QR code. This is going to give you a Google Doc with all the lyrics on it that we're going to be looking at. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So just to start somewhere. So here we've got the version that was adopted into English, and basically just completely changed over here on the left. And then on the right, we've got basically the Spanish here is the actual Spanish version that you do here in the Spanish video. But then here's the English direct translation. And you'll notice the direct translation that you're getting over here on the right is nowhere near what you're getting over here on the left when this was adopted for English speakers other places in the world. So, just to give some quick examples, we can go ahead and we can start just by looking at the first verse here. So you've got, Dime si es verdad, so tell me if it's true. They told me you're marrying. They don't know how I'm suffering. I need to tell you this. Okay. And that's a direct translation of what you're seeing over here. You move on over here, and you're getting, I know you moved on. You're doing better without me. This is driving me crazy. Can't you see what you're doing? Okay, well, if you look at this a little bit deeper, you're getting a lot of differences. Take a line right here like, tell me if it's true. Well, asking someone to tell you if it's true is a little bit different than saying over here, I know you moved on. It's more accusatory over here on the other side. But then also over here, they're talking about marrying, and they don't talk about that at all over here. It's just, I heard you're doing better. So already you're getting a different feeling. Moving on versus someone getting married is a bit of a different thing, believe it or not. So, there's also that to take into account, and there's you don't know how I'm suffering versus this is driving me crazy. So over here on this side where it's highlighted, this is actually showing you like it's like an accusation, right? It's like you don't know how I'm suffering versus over here it's just this is driving me crazy. So I feel like the word suffering is carrying a bit more of an effect than I'm just being driven crazy. And then of course then you have I need to tell you this versus can't you see what you're doing? So over here you've got like I need to tell you this is like a proactive action versus like can't you see this? Like come on, can't you see this? Well, clearly she can't. So it's just a different thing to look at versus like the I and the you and how things are being delivered. So I think as a whole you can see in those verses that it's just different. And then if we can just skip on down to what you're going to see here. And then for this side, it's what you're seeing here. So there's, I'm missing you. Up all night going crazy. Now my angel can't save me. I'm missing you, up all night going crazy, drinking my pain away. Is what you're getting from the English adapted version, okay? And then when you get down here, you're looking at something, in my opinion, that's very different. So, I've been looking for you, so I'm looking for you versus I just miss you, okay? Shouting in the streets versus I'm just up all night going crazy. Okay, so shouting in the streets is a very, like, active thing. That's something you're actually doing versus I'm just kind of laying around at night going crazy. So I think, again, you're getting very different connotations from both sides of this. Then you've also got, this is killing me. I mean, versus, oh, now you can't save me. So it's more of like a, okay, over here in the English version, are we trying to place blame as opposed to like, this is just killing me? They're trying to get the same message across, but I think it's in very different degrees. And you can argue that throughout the whole thing. But the point of it is I want you to do something similar to this for at least one line in the song that we've not talked about. And when you go to do your Padlet later, that's a question you'll be asked. So there's one part of what we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to go over here, and I've got both videos pulled up over here. So over here, you've got your actual original Spanish version, and then in this other tab, this is your adapted version. So I guess you could call this one El Perdón, and the other one's just forgiveness, is what that translates to, okay? So over here, I mean, even just in what I have it stopped at, take a look at that setting and tell me how this is completely different than what you see here. Here you are seeing like an actual Spanish city, Spanish people. It's like it's an environment that is representative of Latino America. And then you go over here and, okay, we're seeing two white Caucasian people that are getting ready to give these interviews to these people. And then, okay, we're looking, we've got, okay, diversity a little bit here, but then open the door, what do we see? This is a lot of Americanized standards and Americanized things you're seeing in the videos, and that's only in the first 30 seconds. So what can be pulled out after that even? So think about that. You'll be asked a question to tell me how the settings compare in these videos. So just look through and think of some different things that compare in contrasting ways. And then also, like we mentioned, the people. You'll be asked to tell me about the people. How does that make this different? I mean, obviously, when you go over to this video, you're seeing a lot of representation. I mean, even the kids here on the drums and different things. And then over here, you're getting a little bit, like, of this guy here and, like, all that. And then, you know, mainly also just your judges are, you know, not representative of the culture. And I think they get a lot of screen time in a song that's, you know, not supposed to be really for that culture. So, anyways, you'll be able to pick out a lot of things in these videos. And you'll be able to answer questions over here on this Padlet. So you'll be able to go to this slide and use the link. So yeah, and then you'll just have to tell me, you know, which video do you like more and why. And that can be for a variety of reasons. One thing I want to hint at is something you could talk about or argue for, is that even in Enrique Iglesias and Nicky Jam that you see, you can just see emotional differences on like the amount of emotion that you get from the Spanish version that you do not find in the English version of this song. And that can be argued, but I think that's something that you might want to look at, and that might be something good to talk about here for this last question. Anyways, I hope this helps. Make sure you answer the questions on the Padlet to get your credit for the class, and other than that, that's all I've got.